Hello and welcome to another vlog on this channel. By the way, this is going to be a two-part vlog. Like it's going to be part one and part two, so it will not be extremely long, and also to pass the message well. So this is going to be the first part of this sharing, and today I'm going to be sharing with you my experience, my general experience of house job. I'm just going to give you a little breakdown of how I had my house job, like how it happened, and just the general experience. Like if you want to get more about my experience, I I did a blog series on my blog, like a house job chronicle series, and I did like different parts of every unit and all the things. Like at least I cannot give you every detail of my life, but at least I gave a good summary, some of the very important and unique experiences I had in my house job. So if you want to read that, like read more details, then the link in my bio, please check that bio all the time. A lot of things are there. You get to know the remaining stories I'm not going to share here. But today I'm going to share with you how I started house job. Now, I'm foreign student medical student, and I shared with you on a previous vlog how I passed my NCN exams without going to tutorials. So I'm going to leave it up here somewhere. And after that, the exam was conducted on November 2021, and by God's grace, it was passed. So ideally, when you are done with the exams, you're supposed to have an induction soon. However, the induction was delayed for 3 months. So the induction happened in February 2022. Now, after the induction, you have to register, you have to do a lot of stuff and get your temporary license and all that stuff. And after that, the next thing that you are going to wait for is a house job placement. Now, I was already depressed, and I'm not depressed, sorry. I was already drained, rather. That's what the word I wanted to use. I was already drained from my final year exams. It was super draining for me. Then coming to prepare for the MDC exam almost at the same time was also very stressful. So somewhere in my mind, I was not ready to really jump into a house job immediately, but I didn't want to leave to chance. I was preparing to get a place. However, there's a portal where you're supposed to access for that, and I missed the first opening. And now missing the first opening meant waiting for 3 more months to begin to get another opportunity. In between that 3 months, there were times where the slot would be open for you to pick a place, but things were happening and Gay was not getting any place. Now, by the way, I needed that time to refresh, to reevaluate myself, to get ready, like to prepare myself mentally for the house job. But after 2 months, I started getting tired, and with the multiple questions, what's happening, what's going on, and also as again, started hearing stories of people that had waited for almost a year. They find it hard to get a place, and this was what's happening again. Now, there was a Telegram channel where we were all encouraging ourselves. We're getting people getting places, and I'm not getting a place. So I and some of my friends were trying to start looking for what other ways could we get a place. Is it by applying to states, hospitals, or no, just apply to somewhere else to get a place? So during that time, thank God for friends, thank God for wonderful people God brought into my life to just really encourage and just like help me. And I'm so grateful for my family as well during that time. Thank God the portal was open and I finally picked a place. Now, I'm not really going to go into much details about how I came about picking this place, but I actually picked this place. I picked where I was going, like other people who picked a place because they just didn't have any other option. All my options, like I had 4 options, and all my 4 options were open as of when I accessed the portal, and I chose this place. Now, it's important for you to ask God to lead you to the place you want to go to, and I had a lot of challenges, really trusting God for where from my house job, because it was a place I had trusting God for a long time, praying about, but I had my own personal agenda as well. And I think one of the things that we need to be very sensitive about is that when we are praying to God for something, let's make sure that we are sincere about our personal agenda, but then let God's will override ours. I've learned a lot of lessons from all this, but during that time, I was trusting God for a place. I had a direction of where to go. I had my own personal agenda, and it all bettered me picking where I did my house job. Now, coming down from where I was like in the end of the country, coming down to another, not the end, but like I was coming from a very far place. Making that journey was really long, and God provided people that were of help. You know, when I came in the process of getting this place, I made friends, I made people that were instrumental in just helping the process, because coming to a place that I had not come before, the process was quite long. Getting accommodation, like settling in, it was like it's a lot of challenges. And looking back at those experiences has helped me even in this point to trust God for my future, because during that time, the process, the experience, like just being in a place where what am I going to do next, like you're kind of alone, but at the same time you have to make sure you're making the right decision. I want to thank God for everyone that came to my life at that point to offer assistance, to offer accommodation. Like you guys were just answered prayers to me. Now I wrote some things down so I don't forget what I'm supposed to talk about. Now, when I started house job, I came with the mindset that I wanted to learn. I wanted to have hands-on experience, and I wanted to really pick a place that would help me have that experience. Now, where I picked, we already put the name down here. Where I picked, did not give me the exact experience I wanted, but I got to learn a lot of stuff. Like house job experience really taught me a lot about character, about socialization. Like I really improved my social skills. I realized that if you want to really learn, you need to put yourself out there. I learned interpersonal skills, how to relate with my seniors, my colleagues, even juniors, and other medical personnel. Like I realized in order to make your work smooth, you need to really have an attitude to relate with people. And this job experience really could help me to meet wonderful people. Like I really met some wonderful people that I'm grateful that I met them. Also, the thing about where I picked, I'm putting the name out there, is they have a good teaching experience. Like when it comes to academics, it's a good place for academics. There are a lot of protocols to be observed and all that. But the thing I've always believed is that your personal development lies so much on you. The place that you either learn, the place that you work, all those things can add to it. That is true. But then your ability to develop, like the majority of it depends on you. That's why even though you go to a great school, the best school, if you don't maximize that opportunity, you may not develop as somebody who did not go to a similarly best school, but the person is willing to apply themselves. And that was one of the things that I came with, and I'm grateful to God for helping me. Now, doing this house job, like I'm a church girl. I love being involved in church. I love it. It's a part of me. I'm not doing just for people. Like I do because it makes me happy. Church girl, no get time for church. It was one of the most draining part of this experience, that it was so difficult to participate in church as I would have wanted to. But I want to thank God that one of the Christian bodies that I'm part of, provided an outlet for me to still be part of church. Like I was able to still utilize my gifts in Bible study, and creating, like I still create articles for them. And just to put it out there, anybody out there, if you're a medical personnel and you want to join St. Louis Society Africa, please send me a DM and I'll show you how to go about it, because this Christian body was so helpful during my house job experience. Because even though I couldn't go to church many times, I was able to listen to sermons, I was able to undergo Bible study lessons, I was able to apply myself in what I love doing, that's creating Bible study articles, which I still do. And I was able to meet wonderful people. Like it was just, I was able to go for outreaches, I was able to like apply myself, and that to me was a very beautiful, like I'm just so grateful to God for that. At some point I had to come to tell myself, like, girl, you got to make time for God. Like you can't be saying I don't have time for devotion, I don't have time for this. You have to make time for God. If not, you will get lost. There's some of my father used to tell me that this time is a very important time to test your love for God, because you are so overwhelmed and busy that you can get carried away. So at some point I had to pause and tell myself, like, girl, you got to give your relationship with God and attention. And I'm grateful to God for calling me back to track. It was like another major thing that I really struggled with during this house job was stress. Like house job is stressful, and I can't even say this, my center where I did house job is the worst, but it's actually a very taxing place. But I think the other place are worse than here. But the stress is a lot. One of the ways I coped with stress was having good friends, people that I could rant to. It was, like putting myself in my hobbies, in things I love doing, in painting, in writing, podcasting. I applied myself in those things. It was like spending time with God. It was I'm not really a movie person too much. Like I'm not really into movies, but at some point I had to subscribe to Netflix. Although I had to subscribe out because now I realized that I was wasting my money. Like subscribe for a month and I'm not using the money, so I had to just stop the subscription. But at some point, I had to subscribe to Netflix and watching my Korean series because that was another way to help me with the stress. Another thing I did again was to eat a lot of fruits. I'm a fruit lover. I love eating fruits. Like it's just a hobby for me. If I don't eat a fruit a day, 2 days, 3 days, I will not feel myself. But I realized that also helped me. Eating was also a very difficult thing. I'm not much of an eater. I create recipes, like I have a blog for my food, but I'm not an eater. So how job even was in the whole thing. But I actually have friends that were very concerned about my eating. That it actually had to make me give attention to eating, and I tried to do like I tried my best. But I lost weight, I gained weight. But all in all, I thank God for how He helped me. So the experience for me was one that it has built me as a person. It also showed me that I had to give attention to my walk with God, and you don't have an excuse when you love something, when you love someone, you make time for that thing, make time for that person. I also think for my family, like my family were the most understanding set of people. Like wow, these guys are cool. Like my family were just the best, and their understanding, their encouragement, their calls, like they never ever complained like they are too busy for me. My parents always made time for me. Like they were never even like worried. Like my family was a very great support system, and I just wanted the opportunity to thank them. I'm so grateful to be part of them because they really showed me so much support. And I also want to thank God for friends. Like God really brought wonderful people into my life that were so instrumental, and my colleagues that I worked with. Like I really worked with amazing people that made the experience great, and I met some amazing seniors as well. Like I said, the teaching experience in this place is great. Maybe not a lot of hands-on, but a lot of teaching, and you can still get hands-on if you are willing to apply yourself. So I'm just putting out there to give you a balanced view. I'm not saying that here's the best place to come and do your house job, but I'm not saying that it's the worst place. It's more like an experience depending on what you choose it to be, and is that not what it is about life? You choose your experience based on what you want it to be. So that was my general experience in this place. The weather was cool, like living in a very hot environment. Like I've lived in a hot environment for a very long time in my life, but coming to be bombarded with rain was something that was very unique for me. The weather here was also very good, and overall, like grateful to God for this. So with that being said, that brings us to the end of today's vlog. Don't forget there's a part 2 of this so that you get the bulk of it. Don't forget to check the link in my bio to connect with every other thing that I'm doing, the books I've shared, the podcast, and even the series like the House Job Chronicles. So until next time on this channel, continue to stay safe and